It's a me, Mario.
Hello?
Hey, John.
What's up? Who's this, Rob or Slim?
This is Rob, John, and Ware, and Slim's
This
right
is
here.
Slim.
And we have the Lamborghini. He's our intern.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, just doing our show, John. How are you? Writer and producer, director of 3 Days Dead, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Cool. And when did...
Sorry if I'm a little late calling in.
No, you were perfect. We were late. We were a little late coming back from break. So that's Slim's fault.
It's very true.
But
All right, then.
I wanted to ask, 3 Days Dead, it started in 2008, correct?
Yeah, 2008. Yeah. That's when I started writing the script.
It sounds like a wild ride from what I read. You were working on it for 6 years, and you started with 3 friends, just I guess shooting the shit, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We just sat down. My buddy's like, well, see, I'd been to school, to make films. Not necessarily film school, but it was broadcasting. And the reason was I wanted to make films and couldn't afford to go to film school. So the college that I ended up going to, everyone in the broadcasting department had worked in film. And so, it was just a natural fit. Well, I graduated. I was looking for a project to work on, and my buddy's like, hey, we should do a zombie movie. I was like, okay, let me figure some things out. And basically it was a what would you do kind of situation, and we would banter back and forth, and for about 3 months that was the writing process. What would happen if?
Oh, so what would happen if?
Yeah.
Okay. But you also,
and that was, and then I found the setup. I was actually in a bar, 2 separate bars at the time actually, and heard this crazy ass story about this guy who had died, and then there was a grave robbery, and people got really sick because the body exploded. And then I was like, wow, that's a really cool opening to a zombie movie. And so it just went from there.
That's amazing. You also, in the process of making it, had a stroke, correct?
Yes, in 2013 I had a mini stroke. Wow. Trans ischemic attack is the technical term for it, but it was basically a blockage and not a bleed.
Okay.
And for about 20 minutes I talked backwards. I sounded like Yoda. It was kind of cool, but it was kind of scary at the same time.
Is there footage? Is that like one of the outtakes of the movie?
No, there was. We were actually in the post-production process at the time.
Okay.
And we were editing. My producer was at the house, and we were editing, and I was like, man, I got this really bad headache. I'm gonna go lay down, because I thought I had like a sinus headache,
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit, and I'll come back in about an hour. And so about an hour later, I got back up, and I went to the bathroom, and I started talking to myself because I knew something wasn't quite right.
I talk to myself all the time. So I don't know.
When you do it, it doesn't come out backwards.
No, that's correct.
And so I was in the bathroom, and I was talking to myself, and I started giggling because I'm like, this isn't right. This doesn't sound right. Because then, if something like that happens in your head, everything is right.
That's what I was wondering.
Comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, is it still right in that situation, or do you realize it's wrong?
Well, when I heard it, I'm like, shit, that's not normal. And so I started laughing about it. And I went out to the editing bay, and can I cuss?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Do I now? I'm sorry.
I said fuck yeah.
all 3 of us said
cool.
yes at
All
the
right.
same time.
All right, but I came out, and I was living in like a little 1-bedroom, apartment at the time. I came out. The kitchen and the editing bay were all like close together, and I came out in the kitchen, and I asked my producer. I said, "Are my words coming out backwards?" And of course, they came out backwards. And she's like, "You need to go to the hospital now."
Wow.
You know, and so I went to the hospital, and they're like, "You're having a stroke, we think." They did a CAT scan, and they're like, "You're having a stroke. You need to go to another hospital immediately." And my first thought was, I can't leave this hospital and go to another one because nobody's going to know where I'm at. I didn't think, hey, I got a phone in my pocket. I can just call somebody and tell them, hey, I'm leaving this hospital and going to another one.
Yeah.
So I went home for another hour thinking, okay, this will just clear up and I'll be fine. Well, it didn't. And so that's when I ended up, going to an actual hospital with the stroke unit and being treated for a couple days.
Wow. What was it? Did it affect your life? Did you have to relearn certain things, or?
No, I mean, once the 20 minutes was over and I started talking normally again, everything was fine.
Okay.
I didn't have any long-lasting effects from it.
That's good, at least. That's good. But then
I talk a little slow now, but that's just because I'm from Alabama.
I'm kind of curious because am I talking backwards? Can you say that backwards?
I cannot.
I can't.
Right? Like I couldn't. I was thinking about it.
I was recreate it. I've tried.
Yeah, that's wow.
Backwards talking, I am.
Oh,
I guess like
Yoda. I want to say too, John. Though
very much like Yoda.
In all that, Syfy wanted to do a reality show on what on the process of making the film and all that.
Yeah, like the day after I get out of the hospital, I get a call from a production company in Atlanta, and they're like, "Hey, we've heard about your story, and we would you be interested in turning it into a reality show?"
That sounds
and
amazing.
I said, "Sure, let me make a phone call, give me your number, that kind of thing." And so I got them in touch with my producer, and like legitimately, we had just gotten off the phone. The producer was wanting to shut the thing down because it was killing me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we can't. We have to finish regardless. And as soon as I hung up the phone from that phone call, I get the other one.
That sounds like you stepped in shit. So, like you stepped in gold. You just...
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was literally like God or the universe or whatever you believe in was trying to tell me, you can't stop. You have to finish.
Yeah.
And this is the way to do it.
Did it work in your favor, though?
It did not.
Oh, no.
It did not. Reality TV is an animal all of its own, and it's a love-hate relationship that I have at this time with reality TV because they're like, okay, we're going to reenact some things that went on during these past 6 years, and then we're going to throw some things in there, and you're not going to quite know what we're throwing in there because it's just going to happen. Huh. And your reaction is going to be real and all this crap, and the things that happened, my reaction was real. And, like one of them was there was an explosion that was supposed to happen. And this was like the first day or two that we were filming. They're like, we're gonna get an explosion for you guys for the movie. We're gonna bring in an explosives team and all this stuff, and we're gonna blow up a boat on the lake so that you guys can have your explosion. There's like a fantasy sequence where the guy, the lead actor, the lead character is like, this is what would happen during the zombie apocalypse, blah blah blah. We get off the boat, we kill some zombies, we throw a lighter and the boat explodes, and then we slowly walk off. Well, that was the setup, but what happened was when the explosion went off, our cameras weren't on. They knew we were trying to set up the shot and get everything just right because we only had one shot at it. And our cameras weren't on, and like 5 seconds before we hit record on our camera, they set the explosion off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like you could feel the air just get sucked out of the set.
Wow. Wow.
And then they had to, now my producer was pissed. Like, she did not know that they were going to do this. Nobody did, because they wanted a real reaction from it.
Wow.
As soon as it happened, she threatened to walk off. She threatened to quit. They had to come up with something really fucking quick. And so they're like, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. So 6 months, up until about 6 months after the show ended, I had no idea that they had set it off early on purpose.
Wow.
Because along with being television producers, they're really good fucking actors. Like, they deserved an Oscar for that performance.
Oh, wow. God damn.
I had no idea.
Oh, shit. What assholes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and in a way, like I said, it's a love-hate relationship. Without the show that we did, I wouldn't have the exposure that I had. But two, they painted us in a strange, I wouldn't say a strange light. They kind of made us look like we were incompetent.
Oh, yes.
We would take the blame for things that their stunt team did,
Wow.
We would, I don't want to talk bad about the network. I don't want to blame the network for anything. I don't want to burn any bridges just in case.
Yeah.
But they could have handled things a little differently. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That went on. That kind of thing went on. There was a stunt at the very end where they're supposed to catapult this guy into the middle of the lake. It was like a stunt that they would have done on Jackass. And the stunt team nearly killed a guy.
Wow.
And here we would have taken that on our back.
Wow. You would have got the heat for that. Because it was associated with your film.
Now the network took care of the guy. He had to go to the hospital for a few days. The network took care of the guy. They made sure his hospital bills were paid for, and they pretty much gave him anything he wanted.
Yeah.
I guess to keep him from suing them.
Yeah.
But if you're able to watch the television show, it's called Town of the Living Dead. It is available on Amazon for the time being.
Okay.
So it's like $15 for the whole season. You can see the whole thing, and you can see where they nearly killed a guy, and we would have got the blame for it if he had died.
Wow. Yeah, I do want to see that. God damn.
Yeah, like I said, it's on Amazon. It's $14.99. I think it's also on YouTube TV.
Okay.
Still the same price, $13 or $14.99.
Yeah.
You can check that out.
Totally worth.
I don't get anything off that, but
what? Really?
Wow.
Exposure.
I figured
we
$5.50 you would at least get.
We cut the deal for the movie. We got paid for the movie, which helped our budget.
Well, they aired the movie.
They also sunk a lot of money into the film.
Yeah.
But so they put us in and it sounds like I'm bitching. I'm not bitching.
I'd be bitching.
I'm just telling the truth about the situation.
Yeah, no, total truth. And I would be bitching. I'd be bad mouthing.
They put us in a bad time slot.
I saw that. I saw you were against Sons of Anarchy's final season.
Oh no!
Supernatural's just replays.
No!
And the World Series and the fucking World Series.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. So we aired our original run at 8:00 on Tuesdays, and at 8:00, Sons of Anarchy was on in their final season.
No.
At 9:00, when our reruns aired, Supernatural had just come on in a new season.
Wow.
And then in the third week or fourth week, the World Series was on. So we had
nobody.
A triple threat that we were trying to fight against.
Yeah.
And I told people, I said, if I wasn't on TV, I'd probably be watching the World Series.
Dude, nobody can compete with the World Series. Shit.
I didn't watch Sons of Anarchy or Supernatural, but like I said, if I hadn't been on TV, I'd have been watching the World Series.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm kind of curious. I just want to be clear on one thing here. So you were saying earlier that the network pretty much made these decisions that were bad decisions, but anything that went wrong, they were just well, that's what those guys wanted to do. Is that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I didn't say it. Y'all said it.
Yeah.
Right, like that's just what it sounded like. Was
You know, at the end of the day, if you want to get real simple about it, yeah, that's what happened.
That was John's idea. That was John's idea.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what we just
yeah.
we gave them the power to do whatever they wanted. That's what they did. But in reality, it was the network saying, "This is what we're gonna do."
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
Fuck. I saw John though. I want to say you're in the process of releasing a director's cut, correct?
I'm trying very hard to get the rights back to be able to release the director's cut. The director's cut's finished. I've been showing it for free because I can't sell it because I don't own any rights to it right now.
Oh.
Even though I was told, hey, you can go ahead and do what you want with it, we're not going to distribute it. And this wasn't Syfy. This was another distribution company
Okay.
that I'm not going to name because, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was told, hey, you can do whatever you want with it. And so I did. And then when it comes time for me to sign paperwork to get it distributed, I can't. I find out that they're not going to release it to me properly, I guess. So I'm trying to work a deal with them so that they can work a deal to release it, you know, wide release.
So it really sounds like these production companies are just manipulative, and they're going to say whatever they can to get you to do what they want you to do.
You're fighting just to have your vision out there. Like that sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's a battle, man. It is a battle, and you know I'm being as nice as I can be about
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Now here's the thing: the director's cut is about 98% different than the network version.
That's
all
a
I
big
wanna ask.
percent.
That's all I want to ask. Like, how different is it from the version that aired on Syfy?
a large percent.
Well,
Yeah, that's a lot.
I will tell you the overall story is the same.
Okay.
The footage is about 98% different. Because the story behind the reality show is that we lost all our footage, and that we're going to reshoot the whole thing while they're here to do the reality show.
Oh, that was the spin on.
And so we did shoot the whole thing while they were here, and it didn't turn out as good as we wanted it to.
Wow.
So that's why there's about 5 minutes of network footage in the director's cut because it was scenes that I needed that we were never able to shoot until they were here.
Yeah. We'll take those 5 minutes. We'll use those 5 minutes, but nothing else. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. Fuck. Wow. We're going to really see the film, though, John. The director's cut.
Right now, it occasionally will run online on mutantfam.com/marathon. They've showed it twice so far. And the response has been really good. I mean, obviously, I got hooked up with you guys. Have you seen it yet? Have you been able to watch it yet?
I did not. I didn't think the director's cut was out. I wanted to wait for it because as I looked into it, I saw all this, and I wanted to wait for that. So I didn't know. I didn't think the director's cut was out yet. But I saw the trailer, and it looks so well filmed. It looks like a lot of fun. Everything that I saw looked great on it. I wanted to ask you what your influence was for the film. Like, what are some of your homages in it?
There's a lot of Romero stuff, obviously. There's some Tarantino stuff, I guess. There's one scene that I cut. Have you ever seen the show Burn Notice?
Yeah, I seen a couple of episodes. All I know is Ash. Bruce Campbell was in it. I said Ash Williams, but Bruce Campbell was in it. I love Bruce.
I love Bruce.
Did this thing where they would show 3 points of view at the same time. They would split the screen and show 3 or 4 points of view at the same time. Well, I thought this would be really cool. Number one, because I'm showing 3 points of view at the same time, and number two, on the practical side of it, I don't have to film a filler to go in between each scene. So I can show all 3 scenes at once and not have to fill anything in between because I didn't have it.
Yeah.
You know? And it turned out really cool. Like I said, it's like a 2-minute shot where you see our main heroes, our supporting hero, and then the horde of zombies all at the same time. The setup is our main heroes come in to the city from they're out fishing. They come into the city. Their truck breaks down. They're trying to like find something, to help them get away from these zombies. My supporting hero, he's up on his family owns a sporting goods store, so obviously they have guns. He's up on the top of the building, like just sniping zombies, and he sees these three guys running around, and he's like, "You guys look like you needed a hand. Blah blah blah. Come around. I'll get you inside, and you'll be safe." And that's the scene that I kind of was influenced by Burn Notice. So there's action elements, there's horror elements, there's some Walking Dead influences, obviously. Even though we started filming before The Walking Dead ever premiered, and until the show premiered, I had no idea about it.
Cool.
Oh wow!
I saw too. You tweeted that you're a walker in this season in The Walking Dead.
Yes, I should be in the season finale this year.
Cool.
And I know, when I was there, I paid attention geographically where I was at in relation to landmarks and like stars. So like I know where I am based on where somebody else is.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be taking screenshots and stuff that night that it airs finally.
Yes, yeah. I was gonna say I know anyone we've ever talked to says they are sworn not to talk about it until it airs. But I've also heard it's a great community to be involved in. Like everybody, I've never talked to anybody who's had a bad experience working with The Walking Dead.
Oh my God, it was such a good time. It was a 19-hour day for me because where I'm at, I had to drive 2.5 hours there and 2.5 hours back, and then we were on the ground like 14 hours.
Wow!
It was cold. It was hot. It was everything in one day. It didn't rain though, which is good.
That's good. That is good.
But I mean, it was a fantastic experience, and I got nothing bad to say about the experience whatsoever.
How long
my
is
feet hurt at the end of the night?
Yeah, my feet hurt right now, but that's a different story.
While sitting.
How long
feet
is
on the
the
ground.
how long is the just the makeup process of becoming a walker?
Well, they have different levels of walkers. There's like full face makeup, and then there's like masks. It was my first time, so they put me in a mask. So they just basically herd you up in a line. They spray you down. They put the mask on. They spray, around the edges to make sure that your skin blends in with the mask, and then they turn you loose.
Wow, they got it down. I feel they got it to a science.
Oh yeah,
point.
it's like an assembly line for zombies.
John, I do have one question before we let you go. So after being burnt as you were from working with a production company and whatever, like what do you do now going forward? Like, you want to make another project? Are you just going to do it on your own now? Like, how do you go about things?
I mean, if I'm working on a new project, which is not a zombie film, although I do have the sequel written and ready to go if I can get funding for it. If I got approached by another production company with the same deal, I would do it again, but I would definitely pay more attention to the details. Okay. At the time I was, it was my first film, and I was excited that basically Universal is going to make my movie,
Yeah.
And we made a distribution deal and all this stuff. Everything looked pretty. And then they aired the movie at midnight on Tuesday.
Ooh.
When people had school, people had work the next day.
Yeah.
Nobody watched it. And that's at that point when nobody watched the film in its original airing, that's when the distribution company pulled out, and they're like, we can't make money off of this, so we can't distribute it.
And that's not your fault if that's how they went through with it.
Right, and I understand it's a business, so that's why I don't harbor any ill will for real towards anybody involved on that end, because I know it's a business. I understand that you got to be able to make money.
Yeah.
But at this point, I've got it to where you could make money, and it needs to be distributed. I polished it. Look, the sound is still kind of bad in places, but the sound improves the more you watch. But you can still hear what's going on. Some of the spots on the side on the network cut, you couldn't even hear it.
Wow.
You know, and the idea is, and what I was told, the idea was that they wanted to do 6 seasons. If it had been popular, they were going to do 6 seasons. The film was going to get progressively better each season.
Oh, well, that's, yeah.
You know,
I want it now. I want my money now. I don't want to wait. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: I would have done had it been in a better time slot, had it been on a different network, it would have performed better. Because you see these stupid Southern shows on like CMT or whatever, and they're just like a bunch of rednecks partying at the beach, and they're wildly popular.
Yeah,
we're a bunch of rednecks trying to do something.
Yeah.
You know?
Slambo and his friends on the beach.
You guys actually had the product.
I'm just kidding.
And Duck
There was
Dynasty,
like
man.
there was a lot of here, hold my beer while I do this kind of thing, But
hold my beer.
It would have turned out great had it been on a different network. And again, if they approach me, if I'm able to do the sequel at some point, if they approach me to do the same thing again, I'd be like, okay, we'll do it again. But
yes.
And then lay out my demands for a better time slot.
Yeah.
So what you've learned is like you have to lay down some rules.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You have to be the one that makes the calls. John, we have to wrap this up, but it has been a blast talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Where can everybody find you?
I am on Twitter at John M. Ware. There's a Facebook page for the movie still, facebook.com/3 days, but it's spelled Thr33 Days. I tried to be clever with the title and spell it weird and funny and hoping that people would get it, and a lot of people didn't.
I got it.
But that's where I'm at online. I've got Instagram. I don't really use it that much, but it's still at John M. Ware.
Awesome.
And if you guys shoot me your email in a private message or something, I will send you a screener copy of the director's cut.
Awesome. I almost asked, but I didn't know when I first booked you if it was out. But yes, I would love to. I would love to, John, and I will definitely send you that.
Yeah. Man, awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. We will definitely, when the show goes up and the individual interview, I will send that all your way.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good one.